Oh, there's mail for the Eddies today. Now then, the first thing that we're going to do is start by cutting out our paper. You'll see that I've got several rectangles of different sizes. This one is the base. There are two that are the same for the sides. There's another one for the top, the rounded part. And then there will be the two for the ends. Is to score the edges. Now, on the base, there's no scoring whatsoever, nor on the ends, so we'll just set those aside. Now, on the two sides, I've scored along the edges here and along the bottom at 1 centimeter from the edge. So 1 centimeter in, 1 centimeter in, and 1 centimeter in. I've done the same thing on the two sides. And on the top piece, that's going to be rounded, I've scored in 1 centimeter on all four sides. I've prepared ahead of time my family name. This is my maiden name, Eddie. Just mounted it on first a vanilla, and then a real red, and then back onto the white with the burnished edges. I'm going to center that where I want it and glue that down. The next thing I've done is prepare a little flag that's going to tell you that you have mail. Now my flag I cut out to a rectangle. I cut a rectangle that was 5 by 7.5, and then I just freehand cut the shape of my flag. I've pierced the hole already in the flag for the what's it called? A brad. No, a brad. I'm going to do the same thing here. Put it where I want it, and pierce the hole up here. Next thing that I'm going to do is to, first of all, break the fibers in the top part of my mailbox. So I'm just going to run that over the edge. I'm doing that out of the camera. You're not going to be able to see, but I know that you know how to do that. Just run my paper over the edge, and now the fibers are a bit broken, you see, and the paper is going to bend much easier. And what I'm going to do then is to glue the sides to the top of my mailbox. You see, this fold line isn't going to be folded at all. It's just going to serve as a reference point for me to know where I glue the side, here and the other one. Obviously, I'm gluing down the side that has no fold line. The fold line is on the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to do that, and I'll be right back. Now, I'm not going to cut those yet, but I am going to mark a fold line. I'm just going to join the two ends together with my ruler, lining up the two ends, and I'm going to mark a fold line between the two of them. And that's all I'm going to do with that for the time being. The tricky part. What we have to do, obviously, is we're going to fold in our ends, and we have to get this to come into a rounded shape. Oh, I've lost. Here's one of my models for the end, one of my patterns. This is the sort of shape that we're looking for in the end. What I'm going to do is use the sticky strip, and I'm going to use it in 3 separate pieces. I'm going to put one piece up to the seam, one piece up to the seam, and another piece in the middle. Now, what I have to do next is I have to cut little notches out of the middle part, of the part that's going to be curved. I'm going to cut little V's in from the edge every centimeter or so. I'm not going to cut right to the edge of the sticky strip because I want to be able to pull that off in one go if I can. So you see, I have to go in and out, making little teepees if you want to look at it like that, all the way up so that it will curve around nicely. I'm going to fold this in again. I'm going to run it back over the edge of my table because I really want the paper to memorize the shape of the mailbox. And I'm just going to move out of camera range. I'm going back over the edge of my table there. We're going to do one edge at a time. I have to make sure that I get the front. Now, this is the piece that's going to be the opening. It's going to go here. So why don't we start with that, and then I won't make a mistake. What I'm going to do first is peel off the first third of my sticky strip. Get at it. And I'm going to line up my fold line and line that up to the top. Give it a bit of a press from the inside. There. And now I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. So I'm taking out the sticky strip, the backing, just up 1/3 of the way, lining up my 1 centimeter fold line, lining up my edges, and giving it a bit of a press from the inside. And now, I'm going to do the tricky part. There, as you can see, I'm just pushing down my edge, trying to get it to be a nice rounded edge. I have to get out the sticky strip here, take it off. And this is why, of course, I wanted to leave it attached a little bit at the edge when I was cutting my notches so that I could get it off in one pull. Didn't quite make it, did I? There we go. So I'm just going to lay this down, and then from the inside, push my sticky strip onto the end of the mailbox, which gives me this. Okay, now all I have to do is with my little snip, follow the rounded edge very close, of course, without cutting the other one. Try to make a nice smooth cutting line if you can. And there you have the end, the rounded end of the mailbox. The two lines that we drew earlier, so that we have a place to get into our mailbox. Fold in all of our 1 centimeter tabs, and that is where we're going to stick the base of our mailbox, down like this. There, as you can see, I've got my base on. And now to finish the mailbox, I have to cut off the 1 centimeter tab that was at the bottom of the flap of the opening of the mailbox. I've just snipped it off. And I think the last thing I'm going to do, before I call it finished, is I'm going to give it a little burnished effect with my close to cocoa ink all the way around. Put our flag up. There, your mailbox is now ready to fill with perhaps the invitations that you send out for your seminars or your workshops. They'll fit in here quite nicely. You use it as the hostess gift, as a matter of fact. Huh? Why not? Or you could use it with, look, I've just made a very, very simple little card using some of the supplies from our mini catalog. The little note cards that we have with the die-cut flower and the stamp set, which is called Fraîcheur Exquise. Just a simple little card and envelope that will fit in here very nicely as well. There. Now it's up to you to come up with your own ideas.